Perfect. Yes. So again, thank you so much for joining this Meet the Teacher session. The aim of this session really is for you to meet the teachers and really for them to then talk to you about what you can expect from year 2 in terms of what they're learning in class, in terms of things like homework, trips and visits, and then all sorts of practical information, really. It is a chance for you to ask questions too. So if you have a question at any point, just pop it in the Q&A and then it will pop up at the end and we will answer those questions at the end of the session. Okay, so without further ado, I'll pass over to the Year 2 team.
So hello, my name's Mr. Kempton. I'm the teacher of Steele's class, and along with me, Mrs. Powers is working in my class, the teaching class.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Chappells, and I'm Dolphins class teacher, and the teaching assistant is Mrs. Hawkins.
So in terms of the structure of the day in class, this is a general structure that we'd have. Sometimes it's adjusted from this due to maybe a PE session happening in the morning, but this would be a general kind of day that we would have. So the children would arrive between 8:40 and 8:55 in the morning, and there'll be registration would take place at sort of 8:55, but there'll be some early morning work as the children come in, some maths activities or reading type activities that would take place in the classroom, and that would happen first thing as the children settle into the day. About 8:55, 9 o'clock in the morning, we'd have phonics. So that's a sort of 20-minute phonics session that would happen first thing. So it's really important that children are in on time and ready to learn so that they're able to kind of get the best from that session. And then following on to that, we'd had English, as you can see, and then sort of 10:10, we'd have assembly and a playtime session. And around that sort of time, we would also have fruit and milk for those children that have that. That would either happen just prior to assembly or just after playtime. So that would happen as well. And then at 10:50, we would have our second session in the morning, which would be maths. And then we try to do some guided reading as well prior to lunchtime. So that all happens in the morning. And then obviously at lunch at midday, where the children go off and have their food and have a bit of a play around in the playground. And then in the afternoon, the session runs from sort of 1 o'clock until 3. And during that, we cover off foundation subjects like history and geography and science and computing, all those sorts of other subjects as well. So that's kind of the structure today.
So the curriculum in Year 2 is very similar to Year 1. These are the subjects that we will be covering. As you can see, and Mr. Kempton said, we have lots of the English and the maths in the morning, but not every day. And then the foundation subjects, as you can see, they're all listed. Some terms or some half terms may slightly be different depending on the topic. So there might be a focus more on geography rather than history, and then one term it could be art and another term DT. So these are the subjects that the children will be covering throughout the year.
So in terms of the topics that we've got throughout the year, we've currently our topic at the moment, sorry, is called Land Ahoy, which is to do with kind of boats and ships and pirates and explorers and all those sorts of things. So we had our river walk last week, which the children really enjoyed, to sort of look at boats and look at the river and sort of think about water safety and things like that. So there's a little bit around that, and we'll develop the topic throughout this term, learning about those sort of areas. And then in spring 1, the topic is muck, mess and mixes, as you can see, which is all to do with potions and things like that. So we'll and the children get kind of stuck into making potions and things. That's quite good fun there. And then in spring 2 and summer 1, we've got a topic involving towers, tunnels and turrets, which is all to do with castles. And during that, we'll have a little visit to Windsor Castle, which would be great, obviously, with what's going on at the moment. Interesting to learn about for the children. And so that's coming in spring 2 and summer 1. And then in summer 2, we've got Street Detectives, which is learning about the local area and learning about kind of maps and how the local areas kind of evolved and changed over time.
And just to interject there, we've been putting together something called knowledge organisers about each of these topics, which contain all of the kind of key information the children will learn, and they're going on the school website. You can find them in the curriculum section of the website under knowledge organisers, and they're just a really helpful kind of rundown of the key facts and information that the children learn about as they move through the term. The Land Ahoy one we've just finished, and that will be going on the website in the next week, and we'll also send that out to you by email. So do keep an eye out, because you can then ask your children when they get home, oh, I hear you've been learning about Grace Darling, and then have more of a conversation with them about their learning specifically.
But throughout the year, we have special spark days, which really bring the topics to life. And we do this through a variety of activities, whether it be inside school or going out on trips. So as you can see, we've already done our River Thames walk, which was fantastic. The children absolutely loved it, seeing all the boats of all friendly ways and materials. And then in a few weeks, which is new for year 2, we've got a theatre group coming in, and the children are going to do lots of fantastic acting, following all the activities for Grace Darling and her rescue at sea. And then we've got Spark activity days, including experiments or the potions and the science. And then leading on to that, we've got a medieval day and a trip to Windsor Castle. So maybe just a heads up for the medieval day, if you do come across anything to do with castles, so it could be a chef, a knight, a princess, obviously not Disney, but the children have so much fun coming dressed in those outfits where they explore lots of different features of the castles, and it really brings everything to life.
So in terms of how we assess the children throughout the year, assessment is ongoing in terms of us looking at the children's work that they're completing on a daily and weekly basis, and then that would inform how we teach and the next steps for each of the children. But there is some formal teaching, or if you like, at the end of the key stage. So at the end of next year, we'll do a key stage 2 assessments, and those will kind of support our judgments in terms of where we think the children have achieved during the year. And those are in sort of reading, writing and maths that are done next year. The writing is ongoing throughout the year with their work, but the reading and maths activities are done towards the end of the year. And we will use those to help inform our judgments in terms of where the children are at. They're nothing to, we don't want the children to kind of worry about them too much or anything like that. They're not anything to be scared about. It's just activities and questions and answers and kind of tests, if you like, but they're actually something we build on throughout the year because we practice them with children given opportunities to kind of learn how to solve the problems and questions that they're given, and we build up this confidence as we go. And you'll find homework that we're going to hand out just after half term will kind of link into that and build towards that, because we've got some books that the children work through that are very much linked to the activities they'll do within that.
So PPA is planning, preparation and assessment time, which all teachers have. In year 2, it is on a Thursday afternoon, and the children will be taught by Mrs. Anning and Miss Stilwell. So what happens is at the moment, as you know, that one class is going swimming, and then the other class is doing some foundation subjects, and then after Christmas they will swap. So dolphins will be going swimming, and seals will be carrying on with their foundation learning.
So in terms of the homework, I'll just briefly mention, obviously reading is a really crucial thing at this stage. The children have been doing that in year 1, reception in year 1, and we just want to continue that momentum of reading at home, providing opportunities to read and consolidate that learning and develop those skills of kind of reading of words, but also their understanding and comprehension. So please do read with your children every day if you can, and just make little notes in the reading records that we'll take a look through. So that we just can build up that experience and knowledge. And then in addition to that, obviously we're handing out homework, and you should be seeing a little yellow folder that's coming back with just some sheets in at the moment. So we're doing that up until October half term. And those will be activities that are directly linked to what we're learning in school each week. And then following on from that, we'll use what's called Key Stage 1 SATS Buster books. And they'll be in reading, spelling, punctuation and grammar, and then arithmetic maths and reasoning maths, and those activities will have a sheet that's sort of set, and we'll send that home with those books after October half term, which will explain anything with regard to that.
Can I just add to that as well, with homework as well, it is up to you when you do it through the week, and for some families it may be better to do it on one day. For some families and for some children, depending what you've got on at home, or how tired they are, please do feel free to split it up as you wish, because we don't want it to be, a chore. We want it to really enhance their learning and support what they are doing in school. So for some people, it will be little and often. Some people like to do it at weekend, but we do give a lot of time. So please feel free to do it as, best fits for your family as well. Oh, expectations, yes, sorry. So yeah, like Mr. Kempton said before, it's really important that your children are on time every day, because we do start the learning straight away. We do understand that, you know, people are ill. Please let the school know as well. We want, you know, attendance is expected to be higher than 96%. Uniform, we want high expectations at Grovelands, and it's just a reminder that jewellery, including earrings and large hair accessories, especially, you know, some of the big bows as well. Can we just try and tone those down sometimes, just because it looks really smart for the children if everybody comes, you know, in a smart uniform. PE kits as well. We've got a good uniform for that, so that everybody looks good when they're doing PE. And as you can see, SEALS is Wednesday, but they've got their swimming, which is counted as a PE lesson, so they are swimming on Thursday. And that all went really well, I believe, yesterday. Really good, successful first swimming session for everybody. And Dolphins is on Tuesday and Wednesday. So then we will inform you about the swap after Christmas when Dolphins are swimming as well.
So in terms of the values we have at Grovelands, all of our kind of work and behaviours we work towards the Grovelands values. So the 6 of the values are here: kindness, respect, friendship, uniqueness, trust and determination. And we truly encourage the children to demonstrate these kind of values every day in everything they do. And we celebrate that each week with our behavioural assembly on a Wednesday, where the children would be something that one of these values that they've demonstrated that week would be celebrated within that. And each class at the beginning of the year has created sort of set of promises that they would want to stick to throughout these, linked to these values, and that's what we kind of we will work towards and kind of demonstrate in school each day.
So the behaviour system in school is, as Kemsa said, is a strong emphasis on the values, and the children get a special golden token for demonstrating these values. And then what we do in each classroom, the houses that the children are in, they pop it in a special pot, and then every half term they're counted up, and there's a special treat for the winning house. So there's an element of competition in there as well. And we do have lots of other behaviour systems as well. We have certificates in schools, so we've got writer of the week, we've got achievement assembly, we've got behaviour. So there's, you know, lots of, you know, really good rewards in school to recognise the children who are following all the behaviour and the expectations.
So if your child has any concerns or is worried about something, we would encourage them to speak to an adult in school. So it's any member of staff, you know, obviously the class teacher or class TA would probably be their first point of call, but we would encourage them to speak to any adult in school. We obviously encourage them to talk to a parent and carers at home, and obviously if they you know, not confident enough to talk about it, we would encourage them maybe to write it or draw a picture or something like that, so we can help us support if we need to support those children in the school. So we would encourage, yeah, please do encourage your child, if they are worried or concerned about anything, then please do ensure they come and speak to us as adults in school, because we want to be able to help them if there are any problems. If you as parents have any concerns or questions or anything at all, please in the first instance speak to the class teacher, and then if that's not been resolved, or you want to sort of explore that further, then please speak to the phase leader. I happen to be the phase leader for Key Stage 1, so that would be me. And then if you want to sort of speak to anybody further after that, then the senior leadership team, which would be Mrs. Coleman and Mr. Tuck, would then kind of speak to you. But the first point of call would be the class teacher.
And then throughout the year, we have parents' meetings where you are invited to make an appointment, so we can chat about your child, not just in academic terms, but how they are, you know, in school with their friends, with us, you know, discuss things like the confidence and just where they are really. So we have 2 appointments, one in the autumn term and one in the spring term, and then parents of children with special educational needs, they will be invited separately to a Youth Passport meeting each term, just to go through any specific targets and ready for the next term.
Okay, thank you so much to the teachers there for a really informative presentation. That was great, lots of information. What I'll do there is stop sharing so that I can see you. There aren't any questions in the chat, but I will just give you a moment should anyone wish to unmute themselves and ask a question. You're very welcome to do so. But that's fantastic. If you do have any questions subsequently, feel free to ping an email to the info account, which is the info@grovelands.surrey.sch.uk account. Otherwise, catch your teacher on the door and pose them the question. Always better to ask, and then we can give you an answer. And the recording will be going up on YouTube later today. So thank you everyone for joining us, and have a lovely day and a great weekend.
Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.